P.O.C. Impossible light across the wall while a stalker with the train activity monitoring 9LPK 927. You know what they're doing? It's called psychopathic pacing. This is what L. Edwards is doing during what's called criminal summoning, and it appears on the surface as a traffic stop, pulling over the people of the state as a malicious guise for stalking and psychologically torturing an American citizen whom you have conspired to murder. And it is proven in an environment that defies nature, common sense, logic, and science. This is the fake sun over me on this same street where I'm walking to the town square at 10 o'clock. It's 1:17 p.m. where they're all monitored. These are co-conspirators of murder. Psychopaths pacing around. 9 TOD, 409. Lights moving across the wall. Demon. 7BVU 047, 8FZP 356, 8JLD 652. And rapidly, the fake sun moves as I move east toward the Overfamily Community Library, but it's set for over 6 hours. They're pacing for over 6 hours over the Ontario Village Shopping Center. Okay, where that pattern of conduct is inclusive. It's inclusive of the specific environment that defies common sense. A fifth grader can recognize that the sun didn't move. All right. However, the entity that is gang stalking and is kidnapping through corrupt courts, such as what Lisa Rogan has committed, while she's conspired my murder with the Ontario Police and San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department and people like Tracy Banks and Jason Isaac Fields, the entity that has defamed my character while intentionally disregarding my evidence that is under no circumstances to be disregarded or ignored, or nor is it irrelevant, nor is it under any circumstances anything that you would ever reasonably disagree with or ignore, such that it's the accumulation of information that's the product of someone who's mentally ill. This is epic with regard to the proof of the demonic activity, which is criminal conduct of surveillance by the Ontario Police, who are under this fake sun, facilitating psychological torture, facilitating sexual assault and battery, facilitating criminal monitoring and furtherance of my murder, and doing so with the intent to psychologically torture through that state actor, L. Edwards, who previously committed kidnapping. And that's the tactic behind gang stalking police departments, 8ZAS 870. And then you see the demon in the black vehicle, the pregnant demon that's a closeted homosexual. She's not anymore because I outed her in that video evidence, gang stalking me while they're pacing in front of that police vehicle. That's the form of light activity. 86LMJ225. There is no explanation for this. L. Edwards is going to federal prison. His suicidal tendencies is proven through his criminal conduct, while they are anticipating, reasonably so, that I'm going to pull out my video. And no federal court is going to disregard this. In fact, it's going to put terrorists like Lisa Rogan, Thomas Garza in federal prison where they belong. I remain subject to this not only because of Shannon Dykes, Mike Lorenz, but Lisa Rogan. Okay, the presiding judge, she's a vagina monitor. She's a kidnapper. She's engaged in this criminal surveillance system targeting American citizens whom she conspires to steal from. TZ528K7, and is doing so, stalking me with the blessing of the demons themselves. All of the demons that are sitting in the Overfamily Community Library are already prosecuted, and this is how the evidence is working against all of the entity that targeted me, one person. This is a video documentation regarding what the Ontario Police Department are committing just the other morning while I'm right here, and they're engaged in psychopathic pacing. This is the crime scene. Their mental illness is shown, and this is what medical professionals, legitimate ones, not gang stalking medical professionals, are going to rely upon. You can reference this with regard to being able to cite out, identify, and diagnose mental illness that seeks to conceal itself, cloak itself as normalcy, even being a law-abiding citizen, when they're actually engaged in the conspiracy, psychopathic conduct, sexually violent conduct that they derive pleasure out of, such as what the Ontario Police and the people of the state, 9 TTD 416, engage in. This is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 1:21 p.m. This is direct reference to Ontario Police, who are the gang leaders with regard to the criminal conduct that they're being disbanded for. I'm being stalked by a bunch of roaches who are pacing around, surrounding me, stalking me as I go, and they're doing so while this fake sun remains over me, the evidence of it. They committed ongoing terrorism on video, stalking by helicopter, pacing just like they are collectively as an entity in an environment where the sun was never over 215 East C Street, but yet here it is over me. And also, if that were the sun, if you want to contend with it, even though you can't, but I can argue both ways. Even if that was the sun that was simultaneously remaining over the village and over the Overfamily Community Library, it still would not be here at this point in the day either. This is the entity that's engaging in that pattern, but you know that that's not the case, because the demon operating vehicle number 1114, gang stalking me at 226 North Vine Avenue, is under that fake sun, monitoring me while I'm documenting the predators who conspire murder as an entity. These are the non-humans. This is the Nephilim. These aren't human beings, and that's why their stupidity is such an extreme level. The ongoing desperation when you have already been caught, it's because they're not human. These are demons. And they're going to be federally prosecuted like any other human being. But this is not, these are not human beings. These are the demon possessed. This is P.O.C. The demon possessed are being disbanded. They're going to federal prison. They're being deported. They're being separated from minor children. This is 1:22 p.m. P.O.C. Everybody in that video that I documented, gang stalk with L. Edwards, they're going to federal prison. And justice requires it, and there's no negotiation out of it. P.O.C.